Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about three main things. I'm going to talk about the role of human anatomy and how we tend to move as humans. I'm going to talk about a concept of neutrality as described by the Postural Restoration Institute. And I'm going to give you some ideas and tips on how to get that party started for yourself. So I want to start off with a quick introduction. My name is Jim Whittakin. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. And I spent the last 23 years trying to figure out how to help humans move more efficiently and more effectively so they have less pain, less dysfunction, and they can really crank on what they want to do and get out there and live their best life. I want to start off this discussion today about neutrality with a story. So just recently, I was working with a client who came into my clinic, and she was having all kinds of trouble when she ate. So she was having breathing problems when she ate, and she couldn't get her breath. And she had been to all the people, all the medical Western doctors. They all told her everything was fine. She had a little bit of gastroesophageal reflux problem. She had a little bit of food allergy or something. And she changed her diet and she felt better. And then things started creeping back up again. And she finally found me and she came out to talk to me, trying to figure out the answers that nobody else could find. And just from talking to her, I started realizing that when you eat, food goes into your stomach a little bit below your left rib cage. And what ends up happening, because we're humans and our anatomy internally, we have this big liver on the right side, we have this heart on the left side on top of the diaphragm that's pushing down, and that big liver on the right is up underneath the diaphragm. It tends to support our rib cage in a state that makes it very easy to breathe when you're standing on your right leg. And this is a postural restoration concept called the left AIC/right BC pattern. And what they're talking about is because of the anatomy in our bodies, we tend to get ourselves as humans into a state of right stance. So all the things that have to come together in our human body to put weight through our right side so that you can pick up the left side and take a step. And then that's no problem whatsoever. There's nothing at all wrong with the state of right stance or this pattern, the left AIC, right BC pattern that the Postural Restoration Institute talks about. But the problem is when you can't stop doing that. So in this story, this person was stuck so hard in her right side that even when she was walking around on the left leg, her body was still mostly in a state of right standing. And that's not going to work out very well. If you're standing in right stance, that means the left leg is swinging, right? The left leg is in a state of swing, not stance. So when you're in this stuck state of right stance and then you stand upon your left leg, that doesn't really work out very well. It's kind of like taking out a screw with a hammer. It'll work in a pinch, but it'll leave a mess behind, right? So this particular person, she was eating, and every time she ate, more food bolus would get up underneath her left side ribs, which would keep those left ribs kind of up, which is going to push her over into the right side. Now, again, like I said, this is a beautiful thing as long as you're standing on the right leg. And it tends to be the most easy thing for our body to get into because of our anatomy and the way our brain is organized. And so if you're having a hard time breathing, you're going to choose that particular posture to breathe and to be alive because that's the easiest place to breathe. And so automatically, most of the time, our humans are put in this state of right stance with left-sided opening for swinging because it's easier to breathe there. So this person would eat and the food would go down into her belly, into her stomach, and then it would start making a bigger bolster on this left side, so she wouldn't be able to breathe because it was exacerbating her underlying unconscious movement habit. So as I walked her through it, what I did was I helped her get this left side down and exhaled. We worked a lot of time on breathing out, exhaling, sighing. There's a whole bunch of different concepts that we went through to help her get the air out of the left side and also kind of some of that hardcore rotation around to the right side. She actually was able to get around to the left. And then when that happened and she was finally able to relax and breathe slowly and not try so hard and let the air out, when this left side of her body exhaled, and then she sat there for a moment and paused and marinated in that sweet air hunger, and then took a slow, calm breath in, What ended up happening is that all of that organization inside of her body that was keeping her jammed in her right side allowed her to release her unconscious movement pattern. So she was released from a state of right standing, and she found this thing in the middle, this thing that the Postural Restoration Institute calls neutral. It's not right side and it's not left side. But what's amazing is when she sat there, I heard some telltale signs that she was doing better. All of a sudden, I heard digestion occurring, gurgling in her left side of her belly because her nervous system was in a state of relaxation now, not fight and flight. So now, hey, if I'm relaxing, then it's time to digest. Right? And so I'm hearing these digestion in here. Her face is calm. She's breathing slowly. She's looking around. She's kind of like, what's going on her face? I said, hey, how you doing? I would like you to tell me in your own words, what do you feel? And she looked at me and she said, I'm kind of embarrassed to say it. I was like, no, it's okay. Go ahead. No worries. I want you to describe this sensation in your own words. And she said, it kind of feels like that feeling you get after you have an orgasm. And we both started laughing because what a great description of that feeling. A state of relaxation, a state of letting go, a state of kind of not caring about anything because you're just released and you're super content. These are her words that she chose to use to describe the feeling that she went through when she was able to do an activity to unlock the compression right-sided dominance and allowed her body and therefore her brain to be in the middle. So Ron Huruska is the founder of the Postural Restoration Institute. And I'm going to paraphrase real quick the way he describes neutral, because it's a little different than the way my client did. He describes it as the state between states. It's not right, it's not left, it's not up or down, it just is in the middle. And it's not a number. Like a lot of medical professionals like to get out goniometers and measure things. It's not about a number. It's not right and it's not left. It's this piece in the middle. It's the space of maximum possibility because you haven't done anything. So everything's possible. You're not in a pattern. By definition, a pattern limits your possibilities. But in this particular state of neutrality, you're not in a pattern. So you have maximum possibility. And so this neutrality is a state of maximum possibility and it feels great. Now, I have not had, in all these years, 20 plus years of working with folks, I have not had anybody explain it as my client did about the sensation and the feelings after an orgasm, but it makes a lot of sense to me. I have had so many responses about the feeling of release and calm. People laugh, people cry, they get this big release because they're no longer, they're no longer tight. They're flowing. They're in the flow state of their nervous system. And that is the starting point of maximal possibility to retrain your body. If you have pain in some certain area or a tightness or a restriction in some certain area, that's the place we probably should start. We want to start at the beginning, at a place of neutrality, at a place of calm and rest and maximum possibility that isn't trying to do anything. So therefore, maximal opportunities. And so I want to thank you again for joining me today. I'm quickly reviewing. The Postural Restoration Institute talks about this state of right stance, which is left AIC, right BC, which is just a bunch of words to describe what the pelvis and hip are doing and the rib cage are doing and the arm is doing in order to make a human walk forward through space, time on this Earth's gravity. And so when we're talking about all these PRI concepts and when I'm offering videos about releasing tension, releasing pain, addressing the root cause, this is what I'm talking about. We're trying to get our humans to release the state of tension, which is perfectly fine until it's overused, and then it's no longer fine. So we want to release the state of tension. We want to get into the state of neutrality. We want to get into that beautiful, lovely state of in the middle, not doing anything, and just marinate in that newness because it feels crazy. And every single human experiences that differently. And so if you're interested in getting a jump start on how to do some of this, if you look in the description below, I left the link for my new quick start PDF guide that you can just download and start working through some of these things. And then if you're interested in more, there's more available for you. But to be honest, that's the place you want to start. You want to start at the beginning, at the foundation. And honestly, the quick start guide is really going to walk you through the exact same thing that I walked this person through today. And she had amazing outcomes. She felt fantastic. She felt free and possible and empowered to do whatever she wanted to do. And that is what I offer for you. So thank you very much for joining me again today. I truly appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, relax, trust the process, and enjoy this ride. Take care.